Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday, June 26th, 2025 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I listen internally for the places in me that need nurturing, compassion, and stillness. So we're coming out of this magical new moon Jupiter conjunction. And yet today, for the most of the day, all of the day for a good portion of us, we have the moon finishing up in Cancer and just asking us to breathe, be still, be calm, tend to the inner layers and see what comes up again for the nurturing, for the feeling, for you to be present with the feeling, and even for the energy of stillness. For some reason, so funny, the deep place cards keep feeling like they want to be presented early. And so the card for today is stillness. Now, this is definitely an interesting energy too, as we have Mercury finishing up in the sign of Cancer. Now, a lot of times when Mercury hits 29, it is full of shenanigans and can be somewhat frenetic. Right now, it's feeling a little calmer than that. We are, breaching that final degree as I'm recording this. I don't have squirrel rave going on in my head, so that's pleasant. But to be fair, Mercury will be hitting 29 this evening and be there for a good portion of Thursday. So be aware of those shenanigans. And again, stillness and grounding may be really helpful. Now, when we have Mercury finishing up in Cancer, you may find yourself moving through old things that have come up, old things that have happened that maybe you haven't processed out of your system. So today might be a good day to process some of those things out of your system. Just like yesterday, we have the Miser card. So there is some old stuff that we're holding on to, but it's here with the consciousness. And, conscious awareness. Consciousness and awareness. This is the Chariot card. It is a Cancer card, and it's a card of moving forward towards victory. But it might be in leaving behind some of this stuff we're holding on to, which may even be conditioning, old things that we were taught to think or believe or just told to us, and we're like, no more. That doesn't resonate. So it's a really good day to allow these things to move on through. The first part of the day has, speaking of moving things through, Mercury and Uranus in connection at 29 degrees. That's very interesting. Now that's going to be at sleep time. Again, right now I'm feeling placid is the word. Like Lake Placid. That's what I'm seeing. It's in New York, a lake in New York. Just like a very smooth lake. Uranus can obviously trigger that. It's interesting because, water energy and earth energy, it can be muddy. So again, what I'm feeling is like this mud is bringing stuff up that may need to be thought through and purified. And that might be in dream time, when you wake up in the morning. It could be slightly mentally triggering. And if you are being triggered, then there's some part of you that's needing some healing work, that's needing some wound tending in that area. We also have the Sun and Mars connecting in a sextile, more mud. So Sun in Cancer, Mars in Virgo. These planets together, or not the planets, these signs together are my worry team. So again, you might have some concerns, some worries, some mentalism, worrying around there. But if you are feeling worry or fear or trepidation or anything, again, this is a call for you to show up and nurture and mother yourself. Now, interestingly, I was like, hey, where's Sarah's right now in this? And Sarah's is actually at 11 degrees today. 11 degrees in Aries. And so 11 degrees is that master degree. So you're getting a master's degree in mothering today via the universe, in how you're being called to show up. We also have the moon in Cancer connecting to Venus in Taurus. And that's definitely self-care, maybe a little comfort food thrown in there with that kind of energy. So the first part of the day has some work. Right around noon, we have Mercury moving into Leo. Now, this process is going to last for a little bit because Mercury will be going retrograde in the sign of Leo in July. July 18th, Mercury is going to go retrograde. So it's going to go retrograde July 18th. When does it go direct? Come on, cheat sheet. Don't let me down. August 11th. Geez, that feels long. That it's going to be going direct in Leo. And then in September 2nd, it will move into Virgo. So from now until September 2nd, we have Mercury in Leo. And I think this is a good thing because I think we need to train our brains to allow love in again and to think with love again. And that, I think, is going to be the purpose of this Mercury in Leo, is to allow in love, to think with love. That being said, there's always highs and lows in any transit. We also may find ourselves identifying with ego with Mercury in Leo. And so it's going to be important to notice the difference. This is love, this is ego. I think Mercury in Leo, especially as it goes retrograde in July, will be a wonderful time as well to look within and tend to our inner child. You do not have to wait for the retrograde, but that could be a really wonderful thing. So often, the wounds, the hurt, all of that, it's stuff from your childhood. And let me be fair and say, you as an adult might be like, that's not a big deal. Why are you still holding on to it? Because it was a big deal to a part of yourself. So even if your adult brain doesn't know that, that's the conditioning, right? There is a part of yourself that's still holding on to that. And so with Mercury moving into Leo, we get to explore that. Now, that being said, the second part of the day is going to have Mercury at 0. And beyond Mercury at 29, Mercury at 0 is definite technology snafus and shenanigans. So do be aware of that and watch for your fiery thoughts. Mercury in Leo, like anything Leo, can be very dramatic in its thinking, but that can also be playful. And I think the world could all use a little bit more playful. So see where you can engage that energy a little bit over the next 2+ months. It's a long time, for a Mercury transit. We also have the moon shifting into Leo this evening. The moon won't be shifting until 11:05 p.m. Pacific time. So like I said, this is going to be Friday for some of us, but the moon adds an extra little sparkle to the whole thing. Mercury's first connection in the sign of Leo will be with the moon, which again kind of enhances that dramatic aspect that I did mention. And unintentionally, you may find more drama coming up in your life with Mercury in Leo. And it's up to you to know how to tend to these energies, whether it's in you and knowing how to tend to your inner child, or others and recognizing others' ego, inner child, or delicate heart coming up in the process. One last evening connection before the moon moves into Leo. It will connect with Uranus at that 29 degree. And so again, there may be some of those little triggers coming up, showing you where you've been holding on to some hurt, some conditioning, where you can bring your consciousness, the awareness, and help. Last card is the slowing down card, and this came up in my patron for the new moon. We are building to Uranus shifting out of the sign of Taurus, which is earth energy, and into Gemini, which is zoop, air, and zip, zip, zooming. So taking it low and slow and tending to yourself now and knowing how to ground yourself now is going to help so much in that transit. Let us look at stillness. Beautiful card. I wanted to just look at the questions and the affirmations and some of the practices. So the questions: What does stillness feel like in your body? Where do you find it in the world around you? Where do you find it deep within? How might you take a few moments to settle into stillness today? The affirmation: there is infinite stillness in the deep quiet within. I breathe in stillness, I breathe out the noise. I breathe in peace, I breathe out chaos. I trust the stillness I find in the depths of my heart. And the practices are: take a moment to tune into stillness today. Look for it between breaths, in a moment of awareness, or in the steady rhythm of your heartbeat. Imagine your energy swirling around you, all of the frenetic thoughts, spinning worries. Take a breath and imagine that energy gently returning to you, falling into the depths of your being like heavy snowflakes falling from the heavens into the quiet below. I really saw a snow globe in that moment, and everything in the snow globe like just kind of settling. Tune into the quiet stillness of your grounded energy and settled nervous system. So, love that energy for today. And as this moon finishes up in Cancer, I do think that'll be very helpful. So I'm going to leave that there for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and may your guiding light be strong, and know that you can trust the process. Namaste.